Alright, so today I'm going to guide you through, it's quite a lengthy assignment, but it is a guided practice on how to use if statements. So you should have received this document off of Course Sites. What we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is up here where it says employee number, we're going to fill in the next one, 101, and that will be in cell A5. The next one is cell A6, 102. Now, I'm not going to type in all of these. I'm going to show you how to do autofill. So we're going to select these three, and we have to select 3 or more so that it will see the pattern and it will automatically fill it in. You're going to go to the bottom right corner when they're there. You're going to left click, hold it, and you're going to drag it down. You see it's automatically filling the number. It will automatically fill the numbers in. So it goes all the way down to 125. Alright, so now we're going to go to the column in front of hours worked. So we're going to go right here to column E. And we're going to insert a new column right here between D and E. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to click insert. So let me show you that again. You have to be where you want to be in the column in front of. So if I'm here, then the column is going to populate in front of D. But I want the column in front of E. So then it's going to be in front of hours worked. Okay, so I right click and I click insert and I'm going to click an entire column. Okay, so I just showed you 2 different ways, same thing. Okay, so we're going to type right here in cell E3, overtime rate. Okay, now if you notice it automatically wrapped, it's because everything else has been set to wrap. Now the word overtime is spaced incorrectly, so I'm just going to move it out just a little teeny tiny smidgen. There we go. You cannot double click when the cell is wrapped text. It will just not do it correctly. Alright, so it's bold, it's centered, and it has wrapped text. In cell E4, right here, we're going to calculate the overtime rate. The overtime rate anywhere you work is going to be your hourly rate times 1.5. Alright, so that cell, that anytime you write a function, it always will an equation. Starts with equals, and we're going to do hourly rate. So we're going to click on D4 times 1.5. And I put in parentheses. It doesn't have to be in parentheses. Blah, blah, blah. Yes. So it just likes it in parentheses since it started in parentheses. Okay, so you see how I did that. I'm going to go to the bottom right corner to the black plus sign. I'm going to click it. And I'm going to, using the left click, sorry, let me go over that again. Bottom right corner, the black plus sign, left click, hold it, and drag it all the way down. Alright, so now we're going to insert a column before regular pay. So we're going to go right here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to click on insert. I want to insert an entire column. I click OK. And this is going to be overtime hours. Again, overtime doesn't quite fit. See if I double click. Oh, see, that time it works. Makes me a liar. And then right here before overtime hours, we're going to insert a cell. I'm sorry, another column. And it's going to be regular hours. Okay. All right, and column F, hours worked. We're going to change all occurrences of 40 to 45. So I'm going to show you a super easy way to do that. So we're going to press right here. We're going to highlight all of these. We're going to press Control and F, find what 40.0, and I want to replace it, so I'm going to click Replace, and I'm going to replace it with 45.0, and I'm going to click Replace All. Okay, so maybe it's just 40. Control F, 40, replace with 45. That was it. There's just a decimal point, and it doesn't recognize the decimal point. So you click OK, and you notice all the 40s changed to 45. And we're going to click Close. All right, so in cell G4, which is under regular hours, we're going to write an if statement that's going to calculate the amount of regular hours worked. Okay, so equals if, open parentheses, if here, and we're going to click here, is less than or equal to 40, then it's going to equal this. Otherwise, it's going to put 40. Okay, so I hope you understand it. I'll go and delete it, and we'll do it again. So we're going to write an if function that's going to calculate if there are any overtime hours. So it's going to be equals if, open parentheses, cell F4, which is the hours worked, is less than or equal to 40. Then we want it to put this number right here. Then we want it to go back and put this actual number, because we're trying to figure out how many regular hours they worked. Otherwise, we want it to put 40. So if it's over 40, we just want it to put 40 regular hours. I'll explain that in a minute. And you put, I didn't put something right. There's my problem. That's a comma. That's supposed to be a less than some. Okay, now it likes me. So there, I'm going to take this. I'm going to go to the bottom right corner, left click when I have the black plus sign, drag it all the way down to cell G, whatever that is, G, I can't see it on the left side, all the way down to the last thing, and I'm going to let it go. Okay, so you see what happened here is the regular hours worked, because regular pay is for 40 hours and less than. Overtime pay is for more than 40 hours. Okay, so in cell H4, we're going to be calculating how many hours of overtime they have earned. We're going to do this with another if statement. So it's equals if, open parentheses, if their hours worked is greater than 40, then we're going to put their hours worked minus 40, otherwise put 0. Okay, so do you understand the math in that? So let me show you what it's going to do. So what you just told it to do is if their hours worked is greater than 40, it's going to subtract. Let me show you a good example down here. So here's an example. So Lee Adams. Lee Adams worked 45 hours. 40 of those were at regular pay, and it calculated 5 of those were at overtime. So what you did is you created a formula that said if the hours worked is greater than 40, you're going to subtract the hours worked, which in this case was 45, minus 40, which gives you 5. Otherwise, it puts 0. So all of these people here had no overtime. And then we're going to go to the black plus sign, left click, and we're going to drag it down. So you see there's several people that have overtime in here. They could be making some mad money. See, there's several little people in here. And as a supervisor, that's what you want to kind of avoid. And it's horrible to say. But overtime, they must be a very valuable employee if you're willing to let them work overtime. Okay. So in cell I4, we're going to calculate the regular pay. So in order to calculate the regular pay, it is equals hourly rate times their regular hours, because it's the regular pay. And then we press enter. So his regular pay is $595. Then we're going to left click and we're going to drag it all the way down. Alright, so right here in J3, we're going to type in overtime pay. Press enter. We're going to make that cell big enough. Then we're going to add the border. So we have to select everything. Go to home. We have to add all borders again. Alright, so to calculate overtime pay, that is a different formula. So it's equals, and we're going to go to overtime rate over here, times the overtime hours right here. I did something wrong. I did. Times the overtime hours. We're going to press enter. We're going to click on that, go to the right, bottom right corner, the black plus sign, left click, and drag it all the way down. Something went really wrong with that. Oh, I selected the wrong thing. Okay, so the overtime rate times overtime hours. There we go. That's much better. So apparently I clicked on somewhere else in the sheet and got it all decombobulated and messed up. Okay, so in cell K3, we're going to type gross pay. Now we're going to add the borders here as well. And gross pay, that's what you get before taxes come out. And that looks really nice when you first get your pay stub. You see that big amount and then you just go, oh, because then the taxes come out and it really hurts your pocket. Okay, so gross pay is your regular pay plus your overtime pay. That's as simple as it is. When you get the number signs, well, we called them the pound sign when I was young. Or you now call it the hashtag. That means your cell isn't large enough. So you go right here between K and L at the top. See where it is right here? You double click it and it will automatically make your cell big enough. So then we go to the bottom right corner. Left click, drag it, and there we go. And you see you still have some cells that aren't quite big enough, so we're just going to double click it again. Okay. So looking here, you got some top earners. Some people that are making lots of money. You got Eddie here, who's making $1,100. So what we're going to do, if I was a manager and these were my employees, I would want to know who's making the most money and who's making the least. If this was in retail sales, I would definitely not be concerned about people making the most money. I would want them evaluated at the top. The people making the least money, let's see, this way I have to kind of like filter through it. $420, I would be super concerned if somebody was making $420 and they were in the sales industry. And the reason being, that means they're not very good at their job. They need to be retrained. Something somewhere along the way has kind of dropped off a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to sort the spreadsheet in descending order by overtime pay. So we're going to select what we want to sort. And then we're going to go up here to, I think it's data. We're going to go to sort. And we don't want to sort it. You'll see it's got the information up here. I want to sort it by overtime pay. And I want to sort it from largest to smallest. And I'm going to click OK. Now, you see, Eddie is my star employee. He's bringing in $1,100. That's pretty awesome. All right. So the top 3 pay earners are Eddie Knotts, Ellen Wayne, and Jim Crockett. They're making some pretty mad money. All right. So now we're going to sort it in descending order by regular pay. So same thing, we're going to select everything we want to sort. We're going to click on sort up here. And then we're going to change it from overtime pay to regular pay. And we want it again from largest to smallest. So see, that changes it quite a bit. Barry brings in the most money in regular pay. So if you look at it, Eddie was only the top earner because of his overtime. However, Barry makes $5 an hour more than Eddie. So technically, if Barry worked the overtime, he'd be the top wage earner. Okay, so in cell A31, we have total. And what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the totals for regular pay. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to go over here to this view tab because it makes me crazy. You see how when you scroll down, you lose the headers? That makes me insane. So we're going to click right here at B4, at the intersection right here. And then we're in the view tab. So you were on data, we're going to view. We're going to click freeze panes. We're going to click freeze panes. So what that does is everything here and above it's going to keep the same. So see, it just keeps this row right where I put it. So then I can see what I'm doing down here. All right, so we're going to use AutoSum. So we're going to go back to the home ribbon. And we're going to calculate the totals for regular pay, which is already here. We're going to calculate the total for overtime pay. So you click on the cell, you click on AutoSum up here, and you press enter. We're going to click on gross pay. You click on cell K31, you click AutoSum, and you press enter. Alright, so these automatically adjusted themselves. However, this, if you look at it, doesn't have dollar signs. So we're going to go through here, highlight them all, and we're going to add dollar signs to it. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to figure out the average gross pay. So in order to do average, and I hope you may remember this, you are going to just click right here under averages. That should already be there. So the average regular pay, and so I'm on I-32. I'm going to click the FX, and I'm going to type in average. Okay, it pops up, and I click OK. It's giving me an option. I want the average of these numbers right here. And I click OK. And that tells me what the average pay is. I'm going to do it again. Click FX. Average should already be there. Click OK. For number 1, that's the range you're going to put in. So you're going to select your range. And you click OK. So the third time, we're going to click gross pay, which I'm in now in K32. Going to click FX, which is the average. You don't put anything in where it says number 2, only in the number 1 block. You go to gross pay and you're going to select all of the stuff you want to average together. You click OK. Alright, so those are the averages, which is pretty cool. The average hours worked. I wonder what the average hours worked is. We're going to just do the same thing. We're going to do it this way. I'll make it super easy and fast. We're going to select from here to here. Click OK. And then we're going to take this and we're just going to drag it on over. However, hourly rate, overtime rate, this is not a currency. And it's going to be slow with me. And I want to go to general. There we go. So these right here, these 3, hours worked, regular hours, and overtime hours, those are not currency. So you have to highlight them. We're going to right click. We're going to click format cells. It will probably be on currency. So we're going to click general. Well, we're going to click number. Sorry. We're going to make it 0 decimal places. Make it nice and crisp. Okay, so in cell K, in cell L3, we're going to enter FICA. FICA is a tax. It's a tax that everybody has to pay, unfortunately. And this is found by calculating the gross pay times 7.25%. So it equals your gross pay times, and remember, I hope you know how to convert a percent. A percent is also like 7.25% is equivalent to 0.0725. So it's 0.0725. Double click it. $78.30 out of his check goes to FICA, which is a tax. Okay, and I autofilled it. Okay, so the one thing this does not account for is North Carolina tax. So we're just going to put NC tax. I know between both taxes, it's about 25% of your check you don't get. So if FICA is 7.25, I'm just going to use this over here to do some calculations. Equals 25 minus 7.25. So then it's about, we're just going to go with 17%. And that's just a guesstimate. It depends on what job you have, how much money you make. There's so many different variables. It's kind of crazy. All right, so for NC tax, we're going to do equals. We're going to do your gross pay times 0.17. And I hope you know that 17% is the same thing as 0.17. We're going to press enter. That's $183.60 he loses per paycheck in North Carolina tax. You're going to go to the bottom right corner, click it, and drag that down as well. Okay, so in our last column, it's going to be net pay. So to get that, we're going to do equals this, so K4, minus open parentheses, but we got to add these two together. We want it to subtract from the total of FICA and NC tax combined. So we're going to add those in parentheses, so it does those first. So I hope you see what it's going to do. It's going to subtract gross pay from the total of both taxes and press enter. So Barry would bring home about $818. We're going to click it and drag it all the way down. So that's a big difference. So poor little Donna over here, Cotton, who is working her fingers to the bone 40 hours a week and then 5 hours in overtime for $10 an hour. She's barely bringing home $318 a week. You know, could you imagine having to live on $318? So let's do some math. Equals 318 times 4. She has to live on $1,200 a month. That has to cover all of her expenses, which, you know, could be kind of crummy. All right. So we're going to give all of these right here. We're going to select L3 all the way through in. What is this over here? I cannot see that. Whatever. And we're going to give those cells that as well. We're going to come right up here. We're going to take this, drag it over, and we're going to merge and center this. So you see what I did? When I undid it, the way it is right now, it's like this. So you're going to select it and drag it over. When you click it the first time, it undoes it and it shifts it all the way to the left. Click it again and it centers it in between A and N. Okay, so I hope you got everything. This is a very easy assignment. It's just a lot of different steps all put together. So these should be the numbers that you have. You don't have to show me the formulas because you can't just like go and replicate all of these numbers unless you have the right formulas. So I will be looking for these correct numbers when you upload it to course sites. If you have any questions, give me a shout. Save it as a Excel file, so you get a file save as. Save it wherever you want within your Google Drive. I'll just put it in 6th grade because I can delete it later. And then it should be an Excel workbook. Click Save to your Google Drive. And then you're going to upload it to course sites for grading. If you have any questions, raise your hand, give me a shout. I'm here to help you.